this segment, we're going to talk a little bit more about how all these products fit together. Individually, we find it pretty easy to present an individual product. Unfortunately, when we're in front of a customer, we have a combination of products to present. And how we bring that together and how we help that to flow with the customer and how we keep a conscious mind on what generates dollars per car is what we're going to address in this segment. When we look at product pricing, on average on a 66-month installment loan, a vehicle service policy is going to add about $23 to the customer's payments. That's based on about a $1,500 sell price divided out on an average loan term of about 66 months. Credit life is going to add somewhere in the area of $15 to the customer's payment. Accident and health is going to put somewhere around $25 into the customer's payment. Gap protection at around $400 is going to add a $7 to the individual's payment. Theft protection is going to put a payment of about $3, and the tire and wheel at $395 will add about $6 to the customer's payment. Problem is getting a customer to sit still while you talk to him about every individual product. Moreover, the problem is when you add all these payments up that we've just discussed, you're looking at bumping the customer's payment on product alone roughly $79 a month, or about $3 a day. That's a lot of money. Today, if we look at the average F&I person, as we track F&I performance over the past 3 or 4 years, the average F&I person is bumping the customer about $12 to $13 of that available $79. Now, I know that sounds low. Most F&I managers we talk to today feel like they're getting somewhere in the area of $25 to $35 of that available $79 a month payment bump from the customer. Reality is, it's $12 to $13. What we lose sight of here is we're just talking about the product, not the reserve. On average, reserve represents about 50% of the income. So if we're bumping a customer $79 on product, we would be adding another $79 on that for reserve, and that means we'd be bumping the customer somewhere in the area of about $158 a month on payments. So when I say to you today that the average customer is having his payment bump coming from the sales department by an F&I manager about $12 or $13, that means that customer is being bumped somewhere about $24 to $26 in his payment when you add reserve. Now the question is, how do we bring all this together and present it to the customer in a logical progression of thought? And how do we do it in a timely manner, because there's a limit to what the customer will endure as far as us presenting each one of these products. Typically, we'd get into a brochure presentation and vehicle service policy. We'd lay a brochure out and we'd go in depth about what the coverage is and how it compares to the factory. We'd talk in depth about credit life coverage and what it's going to do for the customer if they were to die, and disability and what the liabilities are for the customer, and get a brochure out on GAP and explain to him what his liabilities are. And then we talk about theft protection and see if we can fit that into his payment. And bring up the new product, tire and wheel, and hope as we go through this with our brochures on every product that the customer is going to remain pretty excited about the process. The truth of the matter is, they're not. We run out of time and tolerance. At some point in time, the customer has an out-of-body experience. They listen to us for about 4 or 5 minutes as we present these products, and it wears the customer down, and they just want to get out of there with their new car. What we're going to need to do at this point is find a way to bring our products together and have them make sense in a logical progression of thought for a customer in a way that they can get it in an ABC simple manner, just a coloring crown simple version of what these products will do to satisfy the exposure that they have. And I will tell you, in most cases, you will not need a brochure for a customer to understand what makes sense about a product or service that you're offering today. One of the ways we do this today is we begin to package some products. We're going to take a product like gap protection, theft protection, which is known as window etching, and tire and wheel, and bring those products together. Today, at a retail price of $420, the gap protection will affect the customer's payment about $7, and in general will add about $245 profit to the F&I department. The etch protection will cost the customer about $199. Added to his unpaid balance, it'll affect his payments about $3 a month, and it'll add roughly $129, $159 profit to the F&I department. The tire and wheel at a retail price of $395 will affect the customer's payments about $6 a month, and it'll add about $250 profit to our department. If we add all 3 of these items alone, gap, etch, tire and wheel, and we wrap it and communicate it to the customer in what we would refer to as the driver care, a package in which will protect the customer if his vehicle is ever totaled or stolen. We'll pay the difference between what he owes and what the vehicle is worth at time of loss. Attached to that is the equity rider, which means in the event of theft, it'll go over and above the gap settlement and it will provide the customer with an additional $5,000 towards the replacement of their vehicle. That helped them recoup any and all equity that they had put down when they purchased the car. Moreover, for a full 5 years, we'll repair or replace all the wheels and tires on their vehicle due to road hazard. If we put this together, all three products, refer to it as the driver care, it's going to add about $1,014 to the unpaid balance. It's going to affect the customer's payments at about $16 a month. Moreover, it's going to generate about $624 profit to the F&I department, a very solid return for the F&I department for only getting $16 out of the customer. If we go back to what we were talking about earlier, the average payment bump right now is $12 to $13. If we look at the driver care for the customer today, we're going to add $600 profit for only getting $16 out of the customer. A friend of mine in the business used to like to say, the juice is worth the squeeze. The customer has to invest $16 to receive a significant benefit of all three products or packaged, and the return to us is significant to the tune of $600 and some profit. Now, if we bring those products together and present, instead of gap, etch, and tire and wheel, we just present the driver care package to the customer, and we add the $16 to their payments, and then we add a vehicle service policy on top. At $1,500 on their unpaid balance, it's going to add about $23 for the service policy on their monthly payment. On average, it'll give us about an $800 return, and when we add them all up, we've added $2,514 to the unpaid balance, we've added $39 to the customer's payment, and we've generated $1,424 in revenue. That's about a 57% return on the premium that we'd gotten the customer to pay. Where does that make sense to us today, considering we're only making 12 to 13 alone on product? If we embrace the driver care concept, we add a vehicle service policy, which has grown in popularity over the past few years, we can clearly drive $39 of the available $79 that we would like to get on product sell alone. This is how we increase our revenue. If we add $39 to the customer's payments, and we were able to do that just 50% of the time, in other words, of every car we delivered, we secured the driver care and the vehicle service policy, and we bumped a customer $39 on product alone, 50% of the time, we as an F&I department would be running $1,400 a car in our F&I department. Now, every customer doesn't buy every product. The trick is to get the product out there for every customer to give consideration to. But moreover, you have to get the product in front of the customer in a manner that they can understand. If we then add the life and disability on top of this driver care, that's going to add about $40 to their payment, and that's how we get back up to $79 on the customer's payment. Yes, we would like to bump every customer $79 on his payment, and if we did that just 50% of the time, we would be running about $2,200 a car in F&I. Everyone in F&I in the past years have had individual deals that generated in excess of $2,000. But we don't make money on the few, we make money on the many. That protects our CSI, that protects our customer relationships and our repeat business, and that gives us a solid profit generator over the course of all products, over the course of all customers, because in F&I, it's not what you make, it's what you keep. And if you can bring products together in a logical progression of thought, in a manner in which a customer can understand, and believe it or not, it does not require a brochure, it requires understanding. It requires that you talk with a customer, not at a customer. Help them understand what their liabilities are. Help them see what their exposures are. Explain to them how it affects their payments. People will buy more products than you could hope to sell them if they understand what the products or services are going to do for them at the time of need.